your farm videos are starting to come along, man, and you really got my attention. I am sitting back thinking, and I got to figure this out, but I would love to put together a men's wellness retreat. I mean, I know we talk about it all the time, but when I see these brothers putting
We gonna
together,
get Khalees to lead us
man,
out.
we ain't got that kind of juice, but maybe if we get
Put it like this: I would put $1,000 right now that within 3 phone calls, Brixton could get to Khalees. Probably fewer than that.
I'll tell you what, if we could get if we could.
No, I'm not giving you the $1,000. I'm just saying it's a bet.
No. No, I'm saying we need the money to pay for it. You need more than $1,000.
Well, yeah. No, that's yeah.
So,
she doesn't come free. I'm sure.
So she wouldn't come out with that popcorn T-shirt on just for the love. Like she would need to catch a check.
Big check. Audience specific check.
I mean, she had an online presence. She sells, face serums and stuff. We tell her we'll buy 100 bottles of her face. That's not gonna do it.
100 cookbooks, 100 bottles of syrup. I have a cookbook, by the way. It's dope.
You have a cookbook?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's fantastic.
Post it.
I'll get it. Hold on. I know.
Look at it. Brother's holding back.
I think you confused him. He's got her cookbook.
Oh, wait. Oh, Khalees has a cookbook. I thought Rick's cookbook. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, like we don't care what Brixton's cooking. What are you talking about? We want to know. We want to know what's the.
Oh, okay. I was confused. Brixton, I thought you wrote a cookbook. I was like, wait a minute. My life on a plate. Okay.
Yeah. Lord Jesus. My life on a plate.
You still hurt my feelings.
How do you hurt your feelings?
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Come on, man. How you mad at Bill Murray? Don't hate the game.
Don't hate the play. I'm mad at her, not Bill Murray.
I'm just
look, he obviously got daddy issues.
73 is quite a chunk of change, but still, man, I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad at all. Somebody gonna have to eat all the melons.
Hang on a second. What am I missing? Bill Murray, what?
Bill Murray and Khalees are really dead.
Please stop.
Morgan like he go pass out and just wreck the car. Like,
See, I ain't the only one.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Man, leave that black woman alone, man. Leave that black woman alone. You know ain't no brothers trying to move up to that farm and grow cabbage and shit.
Shit, who ain't?
I'm saying,
right now.
Which one of us got the invitation?
Hey, I tell Monica we gonna have a sister wives kind of thing going on.
That would be buck wild.
Oh my God! And then Morgan, I'm coming to sleep on your sofa.
In perpetuity.
Yeah, pretty much in perpetuity. I'm gonna be your roommate now.
Shit.
Hey, John.
Go ahead.
Dion's here.
Dion Nelson, get out of here.
Not going on camera though, but she's here.
Oh, tell her I said hey.
I will.
And she actually, so it's wild, full circle moment. So Dion is awesome sister, a year ahead of me in Spelman, year ahead of me at HBS. She and Brixton were roommates, and they had the party house. They had the black party house. But she's a really, really accomplished developer and has done a bunch of development for, she's sort of like one of the purpose-built communities, favorite developers, right? She did a development in Rome. And so when we were looking to buy the farm, I actually called her and asked her, what am I getting myself into, buying a farm in Rome. So. Yeah.
So all in all, how much have you invested in this play experience you got going on out there?
Oh man, it's a source subject.
He said, I don't want to look at the Excel document right now. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we put one together maybe 6 months ago. Pretty crazy. And that wasn't counting time, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, but it sounds like to me this is more of a passion project anyway. I'm just
Well,
curious that are you up like in crazy numbers yet, or is it?
nah. I mean, you know, if I were buying things brand new, all right. So, for example, my tractor, I think I paid $3,200 for my tractor, right?
Okay.
I mean, but my tractor is also damn near old as I am, right? So, which is fine for a tractor, but that tractor brand new would probably be $80,000, right? So, but I mean, somebody ought to beat me with a stick if I buy an $80,000 tractor, right? Come on. But so I won't take up too much Broga time with this. You know, in an ideal world, the way I'm daydreaming, there is a thing called an agra hood. And you guys, if you know, y'all are Serenbe, you would argue that Serenbe is actually an agra hood. So I'm going to continue trying to figure out how do I leverage what I've learned sort of the hard way on my farm to actually get into the agri-hood business.
Well, I want to talk with you also, man, because I really do think that I may be willing to sit down and try to sketch up a model for a men's wellness retreat. What I have to figure out about your farm though is are there any places close by for people to bunk overnight, or would it have to all be on the facility? So I just want to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. And y'all ain't doing no yurts and stuff like that. Y'all, I know y'all need some high thread count sheets. The best
I'm just trying to understand how far we are from like civilization.
So, put it like this. Well, that was part of the conversation I had with Dion about Rome. So from my farm to pretty decent Thai food in downtown Rome, Georgia, 17 minutes.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's not bad.
You know,
so you could have a day activity and then people could go retire somewhere, get cleaned up.
Yeah, when Monica had her 50th birthday party at the farm, most of the folks that I rented an RV and we stayed in, you know, an RV, but a modern RV, a real deal bathroom, whole shooting match. But everybody went and stayed in Rome at like, you know, you're not gonna have a Four Seasons in Rome, but you can get a what is it, like
Hampton Inn
courtyard?
Hampton Inn, yeah, Hampton Inn courtyard, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And downtown Rome, really quaint little place. I think maybe like Eleanor Roosevelt or one of the first ladies was from Rome, and so they've put a lot of money. Rome has gotten more money than a rural town in Northwest. You think
there's a really good coffee shop there as well?
Yeah, really good restaurants. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, 17-20 minutes from civilization, so to speak, which was a big part of why we even narrowed it down to looking there, right?
Sounds awesome.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all get to it, and I'm gonna get myself.
Well, let's talk offline. Just put the bug in Monica's ear that maybe a year from now we want to sketch up a test run on something like this.
Let's make it happen. Hey, Brixton, give Dion a big hug for me.
Will do, man. We're not gonna comment on John's slick haircut. Makes him look 22. That's okay.
Oh, we did.
My normal barber was on vacation, and I was like, I should wait. Nah, I'm gonna try somebody new. And so I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna confess that what I actually did, I sent the video. There's a sister who was doing like facials and stuff for her clients, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to, you know, I like my barber, but I wouldn't mind going to get a facial. I need to get a facial. So and then I went to schedule with my barber, and he's like, oh man, I'm out of town. I was like, oh, well, cool. I'll get a facial and a haircut from the same lady. And the facial was great. Haircut, not so much. So
high and tight.
I look like I'm headed to the military somewhere. All right, y'all. Hey, y'all have a good session.
Just make sure you aren't giving any facials. We want to keep you and Monica together.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. Take care, y'all.
All right. So let me jump on in this. Is the audio in the background too loud or non-existent or what?
A little non-existent at this point.
But did you hear music a moment ago?
We did.
Not much.
Let me see what's going on here. So I got a great playlist, but if nobody can hear it.
There's something now.
Let me know if it's too loud or what. Let me see something real quick.
Look at Leland beaming in from a real house. Congratulations, Negro.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate it.
Tell me something.
Eventually.
Is the music okay or no?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Just don't want to overpower the group.
Never stop.
All right. Okay. All right, gentlemen. So we're gonna work on some back stuff today. Oh, Richard, I want to catch up with you on something after the call if I can.
All right.
I don't know what your time's looking like.
Yeah, it should be good.
All right. So taking a nice little seat on the mat. Find something that's sort of comfortable in the space of hip opening, back opening. So I asked you to bring a block if you saw the note. If you did not bring a block or a blanket, I'd like you to consider anything that can kind of raise your hips up just a touch. So you can sit with the ability to kind of lean in a bit to your hips and giving that little bit of elevation. Might be easier to sit in this posture for just a minute. Now, just trying to relax a bit. We'll give it a couple minutes here and then we'll switch to where our feet are sitting, but hands on the knees, just stretching up tall. Long, deep breath in the belly. Give me one last little audio check. The music sounds pretty loud in my ear. Is it too loud for you guys? All right, cool. Rolling the shoulders back, opening up the chest. Just trying to calm down and ground yourself on the mat. Long, deep breath into the belly. Maybe take a moment to put left hand on heart, right hand on the belly. If you have any little nagging anxiety about getting started when, maybe there's plenty of other things in the day you want to do, see if you can let that go for just a minute. And let's start with maybe sweeping the arms up and just sort of playing around with arms and the shoulders. Maybe grab the wrist, stretching out of the shoulder blades. And then maybe you can even grab a wrist and try to keep both sitting bones on the floor and drop one hand to the mat. See if you can reach over. Reach, 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 reach. And bringing it back. Maybe reaching the arms back up, grab the opposite wrist. Same deal. See if you can keep the sitting bones, both of them, flat on the mat. And when you run out of bandwidth for that, place one hand on the mat. And just see if you can stretch using this hand as a rudder to keep the other hip down. Reach, reach, reach. Maybe for a second, find some stillness, something that feels pretty good. Take a long, deep breath. And release, release back to center. Maybe take 1 minute. Maybe take 1 minute to grab the top of the head and stretch the neck lightly, but not super heavy. This is, using the hand more as a guide so much, not so much of a press and stretch. Just kind of guiding it into some spaces where you feel like you can relax for a minute. And head back to neutral, other side. And release that. Feeling pretty good. Now I want you to switch the feet. Stretching a little different part. You may find that this side feels completely different. Mine does. Actually, in this position, I don't really need the elevation as much. For some reason, this just works out a lot better for me on this side. And I can sit forward enough to still feel the hips open. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, indeed, so you can get a little elevation and continue to let the hips just kind of fall open. And this time, let's stretch. Left hand on right knee. Notice if you can breathe deeply into the belly and then flatten the belly. Imagine navel all the way back to the spine, that flat. And then finally, maybe look over your right shoulder. And release back to neutral. Hands on knees. Take it out a bit, roll shoulders back, and let's twist the opposite side. I don't know what it is about the audio. It sounds weird to me today. It doesn't sound clean. Again, notice if you're twisting from the waist first, not just the shoulders. Open up the chest. And then maybe make the last thing you do just peeking out over that left shoulder for just a second. And back to neutral. Excellent work. All right, feeling pretty good about that. Maybe go ahead and lift off of whatever you were sitting on. Let's extend the feet out in front of us for just a second. Maybe find a spot where you feel comfortable, maybe holding the calves, maybe holding the feet, maybe holding the toes, maybe just leaning forward a little bit. Again, feels real good if you need a little elevation to slide something right under your hips, and you can sink in a little deeper. Still some fairly gentle stretches from here. And release. Feeling pretty good about that. Moving this little lift. And let's move on over to hands and knees. Turn the toes under. Probably shouldn't be drinking all this coffee. And let's start with a little cat-cow. We know the deal. Maybe roll back a little bit, open up the arches. Inhale, exhale. Take a few more rounds of breath. Now maybe move the right ear close to the right hip or the left ear close to the left hip like I'm doing. And check in with that side body. See if you can find just a little touch of stillness for 1 second. When you get to what feels like a safe spot, see if you can hang there for just a second and give your body time to let that little spot open. And then maybe play around with Marjanyasana and Vitsalasana by just moving just a little bit and stretching that spot out a little bit. And slowly back to neutral. Careful now. Walking the hands back around to the right or the left, whichever one is the opposite for you, and finding that same little spot where you were able to dig into a little stretch. Side body, extremity of the lower back, right around that little hip socket area. And when you find a spot that feels like that's right at the edge, just hold for a second. All right. holding right there at your edge. And now maybe a little Vittalasana, Marjanyasana, using your breath to kind of move through some micro stretches here, teeny tiny movements, just to kind of loosen that spot up a little bit more. Excellent work, moving it back to neutral. I want you to extend the right foot, landing on the toes, pressing into the hands, screwing the palms into the mat, and roll back and forth on those toes. Feeling pretty good about that. Now I want you to extend the right foot up. And maybe if you're on your toes on the left foot, maybe playing with the balance, maybe you drop to the top of the foot. And I want you to extend the left hand and just reach, reach, reach. See if you can flatten the back in such a way that you know everything is flat. Maybe it means tucking the tailbone under. Maybe it means leaning a little bit forward so your shoulders right over elbow, elbow over wrist. All these micro movements. Maybe your left foot feels weird, flat, and you want to turn the toes back under, but resist the urge. See if you can maintain the balance here. And once you feel really good about your posture and you feel like, man, I got this, just want you to hang for a second with me, counting back from 6 seconds. 6. Breathing 5. Breathing 4. Breathing 3. Breathing 2. And relax, placing the knee on the ground. Already starting to feel the body warm up. If you're like me, something about that posture started to wake you up a bit. It felt pretty good. So extend the left foot. Waking up these shoulders, maybe roll the toes out. Maybe for balance purpose, you want to try something new. Turn the top of the foot down and extend the left foot. Now notice when you did that, you probably arched your back. See if you can extend the left foot, raising the heel by turning the tailbone under and lifting at the same time. Totally different feel than this. This actually requires a little core engagement. Now lift the right hand. Notice if the shoulder girdle is right over the elbow, elbow right over wrist, and we are stretching, stretching, stretching. You feel good about it, and you really feel stable. I want you to hang out with me for a second and we count back from 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the hand on the earth. Excellent work. Long, deep breath. And I want to play around with kind of opening to the side. So now, let's see if I'm on my right side. How's this look? All right. I want you to extend the right foot again. Now I want you to open up by placing the right foot on the mat. See if you can parallel the right foot with the back of the mat. Now trying to figure out how to hold the balance. Long, straight line. So I'd like to see the rear part of your hand and wrist lined up with your heel bone, lined up with the heel bone of the right foot, and we open up. We open. Now, what I want you to feel as well is, so we start to open, you may need to take this foot and bring it out a bit so that you can get some stability. So moving the left foot out, right foot parallel. Now you start to feel all kind of stuff right in this little spot that we were playing with a minute ago when we were leaning to the side, ear to hip. So you'll start to tuck the tailbone under even more, digging into this spot even more. And then maybe we take the hand towards the ceiling. Again, feel the tailbone tuck, feeling the stretch. Lines from the wrist and bottom of and the rear of the hand here, the palm lined up with the heel of that right foot, and see if you can really trap the right foot all the way down to the mat. Outside of that right foot, cusping the mat. Boom. And reaching up, tuck the tailbone under, and feel it all right in that spot. And maybe reaching the fingertips over, taking the bicep by that right ear. And figuring out what works for you. Now, maybe some dynamic movements where you just move it around and you know what feels good and what doesn't, so be careful. But again, reminding yourself to tuck the tailbone so you can get it all in there. And opening up that shoulder girdle a bit. A little bit of movement. And one last reach up to the ceiling. And excellent. Woo. Slowly moving through, plant the knees on the ground. If you're like me, that got in there real good. And it probably needs to just rest for just a second. And let's prepare to move to the other side. Extend the left foot. Get on a nice little clamp. And we start to open up. And again, on the other side, taking the time to really see if you can turn the tailbone under. Reach that arm up. And start to move that shoulder around a bit. Tailbone under. Find that spot where you can get the tailbone under and keep reaching. And when you find it, maybe take the hand up to the ceiling. And maybe extend the left bicep over the left ear. And we look. And again, find that spot. I can't seem to get it on this side. I got a nice, oh, there it is. Tailbone tucked under. Reaching through the fingertips and that left heel. And then maybe moving the shoulder through and just checking the shoulder girdle. All right, and slowly, meticulously come out of that, carefully. Don't tweak nothing, placing both knees back on the ground. And let's slide into a little resting baby posture for just a minute. Maybe move hips side to side and try to loosen them up a bit, take it out. And we'll just be here for 1 second. Maybe reach the fingertips as far forward as possible. And if you reach the fingertips forward, see if you can stretch them east and west and feel like a nice little upper shoulder blade stretch. And back to cat-cow and start to move into your first down dog. No stretch. Lift the knees off the earth. Start turning the tailbone under. Walk it back. And find it. Hold your down dog for a second. It's a little hot in here. Maintain a decent little breath. See if you can find a spot to just relax and chill. All right, excellent work. And let's roll it all the way out. See if you can turn the tailbone under. Roll it all the way out until you find yourself in a plank. And let's lower gently all the way to the mat. Chin touches the mat, elbows next to the chest. And let's look up in a nice little sphinx pose. Long, deep breath. Notice where you're still tightening. What I'd like you to do is relax the thighs for a second. Relax the butt for a second. Now notice where the belly is on the mat. Are you supported by your belly or are you supported by your elbows? Elbows pressing in a little more. Raise the crown of your head a little higher towards the ceiling. And exhale, lower chin to mat. Hands right next to your pecs. I want you to turn the toes under. Roll the shoulders back. See, can you come all the way through a slow push-up? Come through your knees if you need to. And back to down dog. Then through the fingertips, drop the heels. Long, deep breath. Now raise up on your toes. Looking up towards your navel. Bend the knees. And slowly watch yourself walk toward the top of the mat. At the top of the mat, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Excellent work at the top of your mat. I just want you to sweep the arms up. Long, deep breath. Sweep the arms around. Come back into hands in prayer. Take the toes off the mat for a second. Now, sweep the arms back up. Swan dive, folding carefully with the toes lifted off the mat. All these little micro movements just meant to grab your focus. All right, inhale, flat back. Exhale, take the left foot all the way out. Extend carefully. You're in runner's lunge. Sinking into your runner's lunge, I want you to drop the left knee. Left knee drops. Now notice, I'm not on a tightrope. I got a little space between my knee of my left and my heel of my right. Little space. And I just want you to sweep the arms up. Still playing with these lower backs. Sweep them down. Try to use your breath to control these movements. Sweep them up. Sweep them down. Now, this third time around, take the top of your foot, place it on the mat. Maybe walk the right toes out a little further. And we're going to sweep them up again. And just hold for a second. Now, start to raise, press into that right foot. Turn the tailbone under. You're going to lift a little bit, and you're going to feel a little stretch across here. So turn the tailbone under. So we're here, sunk in. Now I want you to turn that tailbone under, pressing into that right heel, and lift a bit. And exhale, touching down. Now, back in runner's lunge, I want you to take the right foot off the mat. I want you to drop the knees and come right through Chaturanga Dandasana, easy way. Press this. And right into upward dog. Now, slide back, moving into your second down dog, or maybe it's the third, I can't remember exactly. Inhale up on your toes. Bend your knees, looking towards your fingertips, and watch yourself walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swan dive the arms up. Exhale, hands prayer position. Looking down at your toes, maybe lift the toes again. Turn your tailbone under. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan. Touching down. Inhale, flat back. This time we're going to take a long step with the right foot. Right foot steps back. Get a good runner's lunge. Maybe heel toe the left foot out toward the left side of the mat. Just give yourself some balance. Long, deep breath as we drop that knee. And we start by reaching up. Long, deep breath. Squeeze the arms down. Again, reaching up. Exhale, sweep it down. Now maybe this time you tap the top of the right foot on the mat and sweep the arms up. Slowly turning that tailbone under just a little bit. It'll give you a little elevation. It's all good. You'll feel that stretch. Reaching the arms up, 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 up. Pressing into the top of that right foot. Press it into the mat. And exhale. Plant those hands on the mat. Turn the toes under. Lifting the left foot off the mat. And I want you to maybe drop in with the knees, elbows close to the body, and press in through Chaturanga Dandasana, easy way. Upward dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale up on the toes, bend the knees, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Swan dive up. Exhale, hands prayer position, lift the toes. Turn the tailbone under. Flatten the core a bit. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan. Touching down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale the left foot out. Back of the mat, runner's lunge. Drop that knee. Turn the top of the foot down. This time we're all in. Reaching the arms up. Turn the tailbone under. And just sit in it for a minute. Pressing the top of the left foot into the mat. Press it in. Feel that stretch and then turn the tailbone under. Core starts to flatten a little bit more. Press into the right foot. Lifting, lifting, lifting. Exhale, touching down. Turn the left toes under. Back into runner's lunge. Press into the mat. Right foot all the way back. Now you're in plank. Drop the knee. Elbows close to the body. Coming through Chaturanga Dandasana. Easy. Press into upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Nice work. Breathe as you lift up on the knees, looking toward the navel. Now bend the knees, looking toward the fingertips, and watch yourself walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward. Lead the lower back. Crown of the head reaches toward the mat. Inhale, swan dive up. Exhale, hands prayer position. Lift the toes. Turn the tailbone under. Sweep. Arms up. And swan dive. Trying to really get into that lower back now, those hamstrings. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, take the right leg and plant the right foot all the way in the back of the mat. Runner's lunge. Drop to your knee. Top of the right foot on the mat. We're all in there this time. Digging in and reaching up. Crescent with the knee on the ground. Reach, reach, reach. Now start to turn that tailbone under. Reach, reach, reach. Reach, reach, reach. Maybe pressing more into the heel of that left foot. Pressing more into the foot of that right foot. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale, plant the hands, turn the right toes under. Back on top now. Press, arch the back, lift the left foot off the mat, maybe drop to your knees, come through Chaturanga Dandasana, easy. Easy way, like a little kid. Press up. Down dog. Now taking a second here, break on that back. Turn your gaze towards your knees or your navel or crown of the head drapes toward the floor. Now check in with where your feet are placed, your fingertips are placed. Just make a little systems check. If you're comfortable with it, let's take a minute in down dog to just kind of get control of our breath. Be grateful. Grateful to have this time. Now, gripping the mat with the fingertips, really grab the mat. I want you to feel like you really are grounded in this floor, grounded in the earth, heel reaching toward the mat, firm grip. Inhale up on your toes, bend your knees, look towards your fingertips to the top of your mat and watch yourself walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swan dive up. Exhale, hands prayer position. Raise the toes off the mat. Going in for another turn. Sweeping the arms up. Exhale, swan. Touching down on the mat. You'll notice the hamstrings, as they open, gets a little more easy to touch down. Long, deep breath. Taking the left foot to the back of the mat. We're back on this left side. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Drop the knee. Reach the arms up. Now I want you to play with your strength a bit. Turn the toes under. You got a good grip. And just raise into your crescent. Crescent pose. You got this. Bend the heel on that left foot. Press into that right ankle. Dip in a little deeper if you can. Turn the tailbone under now. See if you can get a little elevation. Continuing to stretch. As you turn the tailbone under and exhale, plant those hands on the earth. You got this. Press into the hands. Lift the right foot off the mat. And I want you to come right down through normal chaturanga. Press through. Press up. Exhale. Down dog. Inhale up on the toes. Bend the knees. Make your way to the top of the mat. Maybe your steps get longer and easier. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swan dive up. Exhale, hands prayer position. Opposite side now. Lift the toes off the mat. Tailbone, turn under. Flat core. Sweep the arms up. And beginning to swan all the way in. Touching down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, extend the right foot to the back of the mat. Drop to the knee. Sweep the arms up. Preparing for it. Now, turn those toes under. Get set. Get ready. Now, pressing up to crescent. Reaching those arms up. Sink in where you're comfortable. Turn the tailbone under a little bit more. Sink into where you're comfortable. Let's see if you can just sit in it for a minute. And exhale, hands touch down. Plant the hands, press into the mat. Tighten up your core a little bit and see if you can just slide the left foot to the back with the palms into the mat. Really get it right with the shoulders right over elbows, elbows over wrists, and go in simply and neatly right to the floor. Coming through Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Savasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Savasana. Inhale up on the toes, bend the knees, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Release the crown of the head towards the mat. Swan dive up. Hamstrings are nice and juicy now. Exhale, hands prayer position. Lift toes off the mat. Turn the tailbone under, flatten the belly. Sweep the arms up. And exhale, swan. You got this, touch down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, extend the left foot to the back of the mat. This time, I'm not even gonna drop the knee. We're gonna get our setup, fingertips. The first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna press right into crescent. Press through that right foot, reaching the arms up. We're here, fired up. Maybe sink in a little deeper, firing it up. Turn the tailbone under. Hands prayer position, in for the twist. Left elbow outside right knee. You got your balance. You should have it. If not, you fall out, make an adjustment, get back in. Now you don't have to go crazy with this stretch. This is a stretch that I play with sometimes. I overboard it. Don't do it. You can pop a little rib or something out of place. You'll be mad the rest of the weekend. See if you can rest for a second. Resting right there. And last but not least, back into crescent. See if you got a little stretch left. Find yourself here. And exhale, touchdown. You got this. Back into plank pose. Coming through Chaturanga Dandasana. Press the Urdhva Mukha. Inhale, exhale, Adho Mukha Savasana. Back on those heels. Feeling like a rest move. Inhale up on those toes. Bend the knees. Make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Swan dive all the way back up to the top. Exhale, lift the knees. Sweating. Turn the tailbone under. Now, sweep those arms up and swan. Notice the hamstrings now feel pretty good. Touch down. Inhale, flat back. Extend the right foot. Again, we're not even going to drop the knee. We're going to be right here, fingertips touching, and we're going to fire up right to crescent pose. Press into that heel. In the heel of the extend the heel of the right foot. Now turn the tailbone under. Fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. Exhale, hands prayer position. And I just like you to reach the right elbow outside that knee. Find yourself in a nice little twisted posture here. Get in, and then try to find some stillness. Again, note if your feet are on a tightrope and you don't have any space between your right and left foot, you don't have any east and west space, you're going to tip over. So it's not so much about balance. I want the structure, sound base, and let's hold for just a second. Now, back into crescent. Press up. Reach, reach, reach. I know your leg is tired. I know it's fired up. Exhale, touch down. Pressing into the mat. Lift the left foot off the mat. Back in plank. Gripping the mat with the fingertips. I want you to lower, come through gracefully. Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Savasana. Adho Mukha Savasana. And you got this. Really press through the fingertips. Bend the hips, bend the heels. Inhale up on the toes. Bend the knees. Make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Swan dive up. Exhale, hands spread position. All right. So we played with those hamstrings. I think we warmed them up pretty good. Now we play with a little balance. Woo. Nice calf muscles, Marcus. I see what you're playing with over there, dude. Okay, all right. Rolling the shoulders back. Hands open to Tadasana pose. Playing with our balance a little bit. We haven't done this yet. So I'm gonna let you go to where you want to be. I'm gonna play around with this block on the floor. If you have one, it's just another way to challenge yourself. Stepping into that molding, kickstand, my right foot right on the leg. And I'm just playing. As your foot starts sinking into that block, you'll start having to make little micro adjustments. Maybe you can grab the ankle, maybe you can hold it in place and continue to just play with your balance, turn the tailbone under. All the things we've been working on, turn the tailbone under, maybe lifting the toes, seeing what that feels like. And it's, look, you go to your level of comfort. I'm gonna grab my big toe. I'm gonna play with opening the foot a bit. I'm gonna play with opening the hip a little bit. I'm gonna extend my left hand. I'm gonna try to get some balance here. I'm gonna play with straightening. What I don't need to see is a Marcus nutsack fall out on the camera. Managing to a place where you feel safe. And slowly coming out, just like you got in. You'll notice that some of the balance, just trying to get yourself back to how you got in. Heck of a job. Heck of a job, fellas. So, a lot of balance happening right there. Looking good. Shake it out. Balance, one of those things that you don't even notice you're losing it until it's gone. So I encourage you to tinker around a bit in safe ways. I'm not saying go get some endo board and start playing with your balance. I'm saying safe ways. Playing around with maybe structuring a right foot balance. Long deep breath, turning the tailbone under. Maybe you grab the ankle. See, can you get more elevation? Maybe that feels pretty good and you just want to hold. Maybe you want to extend the right arm. Again, if you're staring at your friend's movement, you're probably going to lose your balance. See if you can stare at something that's not moving. And play to your level of comfort. Again, standing on the block adds complexity. As the block starts to move and shift and sink in and compress, body has to compensate micro movement. Turning the tailbone under, finding your balance. Still playing here. And coming out. Careful. Slowly. All right. You guys ain't half bad for some old dudes. Excellent work. Check it out. All right. How much time we got? Where we at? It is 8:56. Give me 1 second to redo my little. All right. Shake it out a little bit. Toes together, heels together. Tailbone turn under. Flipping into Utkatasana pose. Slide gently toward the feet. Reaching the arms forward. Now maybe you can reach the fingertips up. Go to where they're comfortable as you maintain turning that tailbone under. Maybe you can take the hands behind the head and still turn that tailbone under. Maybe you can turn your gaze up toward the ceiling. A little twist. Try on the other side. You'll notice all sorts of stuff start happening in the core when you do that. Turn that tailbone under, keep it safe. And maybe back to the opposite side, one go. Turn the tailbone under, keep it safe. Check the lower back. And last time around, opposite side. Exhale slowly, carefully, falling over the leg. Padahastasana, taking the hands, planting them under the feet. Maybe you have your knees bent and you just pause for a second. You feel like you have the flexibility to straighten the leg, take advantage of it. Crown of the head reaches toward the mat. Walking into the palm of those hands and just taking a break. And exhale, taking the hands from under the feet, bend the knees, and I want you to slowly walk it all the way out the plank. Fingertips gripping the mat. Turn the tailbone under slightly. Plank pose. Again, playing with our strength. First thing I want you to try to do is get your alignment right. Shoulder over elbow, elbow over wrist. I want you to turn to the outside of the right foot. I want you to slowly open up. Feet, inside left, outside right. So you got both feet on the mat. Got a nice long base. Just chilling. Just chilling. You can actually stack the feet if you want to, but I was giving you an opportunity to create more base just so you could focus on shoulder strength. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Continue to make sure that the left hip is reaching up. And exhale back to plank. Start to sweat a little bit. Got this. Outside left foot, inside right. Stacking the bones, stack the shoulder, stacking the joint, elbow over wrist. Give yourself a best chance of a firm structure and lift the right side of the hip up. Again, turn that tailbone under. And exhale, back into plank. You got this. Press into down dog. Now, walking the feet east and west as wide as your mat. Moving back into plank. Now, put your balance once again. This is going to raise your heart rate up. Lift your right foot. See if you can lift your left hand. And touching down. Playing with your balance, heating up. See if you can lift your left foot and your right hand. And touching down. Now press back to down dog. And with the strength, playing with the balance. You got this. Now raising the right foot to the sky. Walk the hands in just a little bit. Now pull the knee through, maybe pause. See if you can let the knee and nose touch. And plant the right foot next to the right thumb. Drop the left knee. We're back in crescent, sweaty, hot as hell. Hands behind the head. And let's just look up toward the sky using the hands to be the pillow to the back of the head. And see if you can lift the chest toward the sky. Lift the chest, pressing into the right heel. Top of the left foot is on the mat. See, can you calm it down? Feel a little vulnerable right here. Chest open, shoulders back. And exhale. Plant the hands. You got this. Back in runner's lunge. Press. Reach. The right foot touches the back of the mat. Come through chaturanga. Shoulders tired now. Press the Urdhva Mukha. Exhale out of Mukha. Left side. Lift your left foot high as it'll go. Maybe walk the hands in a bit. See if you can bring the knee to the nose so they touch. And plant the left foot next to the left thumb. Drop the knee. Prayer hands, create a pillow. Looking up toward the sky. Half the top of the right foot on the mat. Press into the heel of the left foot. Neck is relaxed and you're lifting from your chest. Center of your chest. Lift toward the sky. And exhale. Plant the hands. Back into plank. See if you can get a little juice left in these arms. If not, just go right into your down dog. Coming through chaturanga. Press into upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Now, last but not least, before we start moving into seated postures, raise the right foot. Three-legged dog. Raise it, raise it, raise it. Maybe open it. Knees toward the ceiling. Notice if you can keep the entire left foot on the mat. Pressing in both hands firmly into the mat, not losing grip there. Now, slowly articulate the knee through carefully. Thread the needle. Maybe kiss the knee. I want you to touch down with the right foot. Now drop the knee, more of a resting posture. If you have blocks, now is the chance to get them. Now from this posture, I want you to slowly separate the legs a little bit and extend the foot so you can sink in to a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Sitting on your block. A little harder if you don't have blocks, because that means you got to do it on your fingertips. Still want to play. See if you can extend the crown of your head toward that big toe. And with that hamstring. And slowly plant that foot on the floor. I want you to get back to this posture, something that feels safe. Now we just move through carefully. We're gonna roll through. Move in with the breath. So your hamstrings and their ability to stretch a little bit will greatly enhance your lower back mobility, and it will feel better over time too. We're just playing around, not going crazy. All right, back to neutral. And from this posture here, hands on the knees, maybe one little twist. Left elbow outside right knee. Now, if that feels pretty good, I want you to play with one last posture here. See if you can place the right hand inside the knee or maybe on a block. Get that elevation. I want you to see if you can turn right over your right knee. Maybe lift the left. and find your foot and hand touching. If you can't get there, no problem. But if you can, see if you can pull that heel toward the butt and feel that stretch across the thigh. More space you have east and west on the mat, it's going to be easier to hold this. And you can really stretch the crown of the head up. Pressing into the right heel. Long, deep breath. Slowing it all down. And we're going to carefully release. I like to be real careful. I'm going to grab my heel. I don't want to snap my foot back toward the mat without my toes down. And I'm right there. Pressing into the hands. Lift the left knee. Plank pose. If your arms are tired, go right into down dog. I'm coming through Chaturanga Dandasana. Pressing the Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Savasana. You got this. Maybe lift the left heel and open if that's what feels good to you. If not, just lift and hold. Notice if you can keep the entire right foot on the mat. It may require some adjustments with your hand. Also note if you're twisting from your hip and waist, you should be able to keep both hands firmly planted. And almost allow that to twist, twist, twist. Now neutralizing those hips. Slowly bringing that knee through. Maybe you can kiss it. And plant the left foot next to the left thumb. Dropping that right knee. You got your blocks again. Extend the left foot. And just all gracefully forward. Protect yourself though. If you need these blocks, protect, protect, protect. Knee moving towards the toe. Long, straight back. Long, deep breath. Maybe you can extend the foot even further up the mat. All right, and slowly coming out of that, planting the foot. You got your box next to you. If you don't, see if you can come up with a way to mimic this. And we're just gonna roll back. And we're gonna roll forward. And we're gonna lift up. And roll forward. Take 2 or 3 of these using the breath. Inhale up. Exhale, roll forward. Inhale up. Last time around. Now, standing here for just a second. Get back to neutral. Nice little box. Hands in prayer position, and we'll take a gentle twist. Coming out of it. Little gentle twist. Wait a minute, I feel like I'm missing something. I'm missing a posture. Exhale. I know I'm missing something. I just lost my train of thought. All right, hands on the mat. Pressing back into runner's lunge. Pressing into the mat. Taking the left foot to the back. Last Chaturanga Dandasana. Unless you've already given it your last. Coming through. Press the Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. And slowly, slowly, slowly let it all go. Crown of the head, reach toward the mat. Feel like I got pretty warm there for a second. Forgot to bring a towel. And exhale, drop to your knees. Maybe sit comfortably on the heels for a second. If this bothers your knees, maybe you have a block right in between the butt, right in between the knees. Sitting high for just a second. All right. Taking that moment to rest. I want you to hold on to your blocks. Pressing cat-cow. Slide your left foot back. Slide your right knee toward right wrist. Maybe work yourself into a pigeon posture. Maybe place a block under the hip. Start gently falling into a safe pigeon. If this puts a lot of strain on your knee, make an adjustment. Maybe you need more elevation in your hip. Maybe you need to move the foot closer to your groin area. Maybe you need to extend the foot. You know what your body needs. I would say if you're trying to move your shin more parallel with the mat, that's going to activate more hip work. If you're going to do that though, flex your ankle, protect your knee. Opening up these hips a bit, digging in, breathe, 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 and let it go. Maybe you can go a little lower. Maybe the forehead will reach all the way to a block on the mat. Two or three long breaths, trying to bring them into the belly, even though you're constricted a little bit with space. See if you can make some micro adjustments to give your belly a little more space to expand and take a long, deep breath. And press the hands into the mat. See if you can turn the left toes under, pressing into the mat, and extend the right leg. Check it out. Back on the knees, cat-cow. Slide the left knee toward the left wrist. Bend the right foot. Find your spot. Maybe you have a block right under the hip. And start somewhere carefully, safely. Sink in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. Alrighty, so we are down into a nice little stretch. Breath slowing down. All right, pressing the hands next to the chest, press up. Turn the left toe, turn the right toes under. And press back into your plank. Shake the left leg out. And drop to your knees. Bring the heels around as you sit to the right or left. Extend the feet out in front. Reaching up with the crown of the head, drop the shoulders back. And maybe you can touch the toes. Or the shins. All right, place the feet on the floor, feet on the mat. Again, I want you to try, pull the knees in a little bit, extend the crown of the head, fingertips on the floor. We're gonna play with just a little boat pose, what we call it. See if you can bring the knees up. Maybe the fingertips are still giving you a little balance. Maybe you can straighten the legs, see where you're comfortable. Try to lift them now. If you can find a way to open that chest and straighten the legs, and try to find yourself in active boat. Legs vibrating, legs shaking, not easy. And exhale, drop the feet back on the mat again. Plant the hands behind the hips. We'll try two more of those, what we call it. So the other part of the back is the core. Strengthening the core always helps the back. Sliding back, see if you can turn the tail. And one thing that's exciting, like, kind of hard to do this, but if you have, exciting is not the right word. If you have a little lift in your hips, you can try this. Now it's hard to do with this type of block. Never mind. Fingertips on the floor. Maybe tabletop with the shin. And this is effective right here. Then maybe straighten the leg. Maybe you can reach the fingertips forward. Trying your best to open and pull that chest up. So you're sitting on those sitting bones. Pull them in even tighter. And place the feet on the floor. Excellent. Core firm, core trembling. One last time around. Take your breath. And last time around, fingertips touch the mat. Straighten the legs. Extend the hands. See if you can open that chest up even further. Lift the crown of the head up. See if you can find just a little stillness with the breath. Now, slowly, see if you can articulate all the way to the mat. You're here. Close out. You pull the right knee in. Nice work. You open it a little bit, moving it around the hip. Maybe last but not least, you'll just stretch the right knee all the way across the body. See if you can land it on a block. Keeping the back as flat as possible. And pulling that knee back in. Excellent work. Extend the foot, bringing the left knee in just a hair. Bring it in a little closer and open it up, open it up, open it up. Moving it around in that socket a bit. Activate the right ankle and let's twist. Maybe you can drop that left knee on top of a block. You got this, bringing it back in. And for just a minute, extend the left foot. Let the feet flock open. And we find ourselves in total chill mode. See what you can do with the lower back. Like, there's one posture that we don't do a lot of, but this could be helpful to some. Maybe take a block right under the hips, right into your kind of lower back, and just kind of let the legs fall open a little bit of a release. You can try this on a couple of levels, make it more active if you want, but for now, let's just kind of allow ourselves to relax. We did a lot of work today with your lower back. Maybe a little ice would be excellent. You keep ice packs at home, sit down, watch a TV flick, put a little ice on your lower back so it brings a lot of fresh blood there and build a little stress so we can come back and do it again. Your back feels really, really fatigued and tired. I would not recommend heat. I would recommend ice. Cool it down, and then maybe 24, 48 hours later, move into some heat and ice. I'm a real big fan of ice for a couple of days just because heat will expand stuff, and if stuff doesn't feel great, definitely don't want to inflame it. You want to constrict everything, tighten it up, bring in a bunch of fresh blood, cool down those blood vessels, shrink the muscle. Now, if you're feeling good about that, maybe slide the block out from under your hips and let's spend just a couple of seconds reflecting. Relax, release. All right. Maybe left hand on the chest, left hand on your heart again, right hand on your belly. Just like where we started. Let it all go. It's done. Completely done. You can stay here as long as you like. If you have something to do, maybe place your feet on the floor and start to roll to one side. Gently and carefully coming up. Don't rush it. Coming back into a nice little seated posture. Coming through that fetal position, Marcus, will be a little bit better on your nervous system just popping up. You might want to roll to the side and just kind of come up gracefully next time. Finding your feet, elbows on knees. Calm it all down. Hands in prayer position. Take a little time to be thankful that you can even take this little bit of time for yourself. Luxuries become necessities. Hands on knees. Long deep breath into the belly. Blow it out carefully. And namaste, brethren.
Namaste.
Thank you all. How did that feel on your lower back? Was that a lot of work or were we in a safe space?
I'll say.
I liked it.
Okay. Cool beans.